Hello beautiful people, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson I'm going to show you how I actually created this advanced search bar in Excel without any VBA. You can use it to actually search out information from, you can use any of the columns to search out information. For example, from nationality, we type Nigeria, we are able to see information data from Nigeria. In the continent, you go to continent, another header, and you type Africa. It's able to pull out data using this column Africa, and even date, pilot name, and flight status. For example, we type flight status on time. So we type on time, it's able to pull out data using that search element also. So follow me and enjoy the lesson. Thank you. People, so I'm going to use this airline data for our lesson. Actually, the data is quite large. About if you check from top to bottom, it's about 198,000 plus, about 98,000 plus. So if you want to get data information from this kind of large data, you can create a search bar that is able to search from all the columns so that you can search effortlessly and efficiently. So we are going to use this data, and this is our source data, so we have it in this sheet, and then we have our search bar. This is where we are going to have our result displayed for us. So we are going to link the two together. So that's what we are going to do. So firstly, what I will do is that I will copy the headers of my data set, the table. Let me copy the header. I'll come here and then I'll paste it around this place, and then I will paste here. So I have my header here. So the second thing I'm going to do is that I will come to insert, to the insert tab, and then I will come to shapes, click on shapes, and then you come select this rectangular rounded corner. I will select it, and then I will draw it this way to make a search. Let me have it this way. So, and then I will go back to insert, and then I'll come to icons. So make sure you connect to the internet so that you can, your icons can load. So in the icon search, you can then search, just type search, and you should be able to see this icon. So click on it and then click on insert, and then you have it this way. So you can actually change the color to any whatever you want. So click on the graphic field, and then you can change the color to any color you want. But for this lesson, I'm going to use color white. So I will then drag it here, and then I will then shape it this way to make it fit into our box. So I'm going to have it this way, and I think this is okay. Let me resize this a bit. So I think this is okay. Now once I'm done with this, I will go to my developers. So just come to developer. If you don't have developer on your Excel, now what you need to do is that you can click on any of these tabs. Let's say for example, right click on here, and then click on customize ribbon, and then here you should be able to see under the main tab, you should be able to see your developer. So if it's not unticked, just tick it this way and then click on OK, and then you have your developer. So once you have it, just click on it and then come to insert, and then look for text box. This is text box. Look for text box, and then you can then draw it this way, your text box this way, and then you can resize a bit. Yeah, I think this is okay. And then once you are done, then right click on the text box and then click on properties, and then go to linked cell. This is linked cell, and then you link this that we have drawn to Excel, and make sure that the cell that you want to link it to is actually empty. So I'm going to link into cell A1. So because this is cell A1 and I know cell A1 is empty, so I've linked this box to cell A1. Then another thing I will do is that I will come to font. This is font, and I'll click on this three dots, and then I want to increase the font, the size to 14. So anytime I type into my text box, the font will be 13, the font size will be 14, and then I can change the font style also to bold, italic. So let me just pick bold and italic. So whenever I typed, it will be bold, italic, and then I can change the font also, but let me just leave it this way. So, and then I'll click on OK, and then I'll close the property text box. So we have it this way. So for me to type into this text box, we need to exit the design mode. So I'll click on exit, and then you can see we are able to type now. So whatever we type, it will be bold and italic, and the font size will be 14, just like what we have done. So that is the one aspect of it. Then another thing that we need to do is that we now need to write our formulas here. This is where we write our formulas to actually link everything together. But before we do that, let's go to our source data. This is our source data. Now what we need to do is that we need to turn this into a table. We need to turn this into a table. So I will simply click on anywhere in the data set and click on Ctrl T. It will actually turn it into a table. It will capture everything once you click on the data set, and then I'll click on OK, and then I have this. So I want to rename this table. This is the name, table name. So I'll give it a name, like for example airline data. So it will be very easy. Let me do it as airline underscore data. So it's very easy for me to make reference to it when I'm writing my formula. So I have it. And then also I can, of course, change the table design of my table. Yeah, I will just say clear, and then this look very clean, but this is actually a table. And then when you go to formulas and you click on name manager, you are able to see what we are saying. This is airline data, and then you have it. So we have it. So anytime you update this data, it will automatically capture it, and our formula will not break. It will also be very easy for me to make reference when we are writing our formula. So we have this way. We have our search bar, we have our header. So the next thing for us to do is to write our formulas. So let's go. All right, so for us to achieve our goal, we are going to combine multiple functions together as we write our formula. So just follow along. Now the first thing we are going to do is that just press your equals to, and then you pick your filter function and then press on your tab key. Now the first thing we are going to do is that we are going to make reference to our data, which is the name of our data, which is the airline data. Once you just have it this way, you can either double click here or just press on your tab key. I think the tab key is much easier, and then it will pick the name of the table, which is the airline data. I'm talking about our source data. Now that's the first thing we're going to do. Now another thing we will do is that just press your comma, and then here we are going to combine three functions together. The first one is the not function. Press your tab key, and then the second one is the ISERROR. This is the ISERROR. Press your tab key, and the third one is the search. And then press your tab key. Now since we have all these three, now the next we are going to do in the find text is that we are going to look we are going to make reference to our cell A1. This cell A1, so I'll just press on cell A1, the cell that will link to our text box, and then I'll press my comma, here. And then the next thing we are going to do is to make reference also to our table name, which is the airline data. And that's the first thing we are going to do. Now after that, make sure you open a square bracket. This is a square bracket. So once you open a square bracket, you see all our table headers in the square bracket. So what we will do is that we will just pick the headers one after the other, so that in our search box we are able to search from any column. So the first one is the ID. I'm going to double click on the ID, and then I'll simply close the square bracket. I'll close it this way, and then after closing it, and then what I want to do is we have make reference to this. Now we need to join other headers like the full name, gender, age, and all others. So what we'll do in order to achieve that is to use the ampersand. The ampersand, we want to join those things together, and then a double quotation, and then the asterisk, and then double quotations again, and then our ampersand once again. So what we have done is that we have differentiated the columns by this star sign, because if we don't do that, if we start, it can module up together. So what we have done is that this star sign is actually to differentiate, and the ampersand is actually to join the column. So what I will do is that I will highlight this way, and then I will copy, because we are going to need them after, and then we continue with our formula. So once we have copied, then we make reference to our data again, that is the airline data. We say airline data, we open our square bracket again, and then we make reference to the second column, which is the full name. Double click on it this way, close the square bracket, and then paste what you have copied, Ctrl V, just to join it. So we are going to do that for all our column headers. So once we have pasted that, we make reference again to our airline data, and then open the square bracket, and then go to the third column, which is gender. That is how we are going to treat all the columns together for us to achieve our goal. And then close the square bracket again. So with this now, I'm going to pause, and then I'll just enter the rest. Just follow along. Right guys, so we have actually done all that we need to do. So we've closed the last square bracket, that is all for the flight status. So what we need to do right now is to close the other parameter, the bracket. For example, if we close the bracket, that is for the ISERROR. You close the bracket, that is the not, the logical value, and then you close. Now that is, we are now in the filter functions. So once you press your comma, and then if empty, you can actually put something. For example, I can say, I can put a double quotation, I can put an empty string there, or I can have it in quotation and say not found. Put it in quotation, and then close the last bracket. So we have done all that we need to do. So just press on enter, and then you see that we have returned all our data set. That is, if you check the one of close to 100,000 data, about 98,000 plus data has been returned for us automatically. So from here, we can search anything from this search bar, from any column. Now that we are done with everything, we can actually check what we have done and see whether it is actually working. So we can search from anywhere. For example, let's search gender. Let me just say female, and then you see that it's able to pull out all female's data. And then you can, this is a very large data, so you need to be a little bit patient with it. You can search, let's say nationality. You can just search out and say Japan. Let's search out Japan from it, and you see that it's able to pull out all data from Japan. Now if you check nationality, you can see that we have Japan here. If you also check the country name, we also have the same data appearing twice. So that's why, for example, here this is Japan, and here United States. here you see Portugal, and then this is Japan. So it's able to search out under nationality, and it's also able to search it out under country name. Then you can search, let's say, continent. Let's have it, let's just say Europe. Let's see whether it's able to bring anything out. And you see that we have all data from Europe. So you can search. This is actually a wonderful search bar. You can search out any information from anywhere. For example, I can decide to pick the ID of any passenger. Let me just pick this. I will copy. Look at it. The person is from Brazil. His nationality is China and every other. So if I pick this ID and I paste it in the search bar, is able to search out from more than 98,000 data. It's able to search it out in less than 1 second. So this is actually working and working very. So you can search out any data using any of the columns from this data set. Now another thing that you should know is that when you check the date in Excel, Excel treats date as numbers. For example, if I want to search out any information, let's say any date here, if I just put it this way, let's say 2 February 2022, you're not going to see anything here because Excel does not recognize date as, so Excel sees date as number. So what you should do is that you want to search using departure date, using this column. Go to your data set. What you should do is that this is the date value there. These are the dates. Now I will do an example. You just click on any one of these like this. Click on it like this, any cell like this, and then go to, you can see here this is date, and then convert this to number. Convert it to number. So once you are able to convert it to number, you just put in the number, and you are able to search that. For example, if I want to convert this is to a number, you can see it's converted to a number. So if I put this in the search bar 44808, it will actually return the data for me. So if I put 44808 there, it will actually search out the, you can see it has actually searched out the data. That is April 9, 2022. It's able to search it out for me. So Excel will treat date as numbers. So this is so it's working. Let me return this to date, to short date. So that is what you can do if you want to search regarding date. And of course also you can update this data set, and automatically our formula is able to catch it. So if you just decide to update, let's say you want to update and say the ID is XXXZ, and then you just put the name to be my name, and then I'm male, so male, and then any age, let me just put 50. I'm a Nigerian, so I'm going to put Nigerian. So all of that I can just leave it that way. So this is actually automatically captured. If you go to your search bar, if you go to your search bar and you just search out, you put in the ID number or the name, it will search out the information. For example, XXXX, you can see it's able to automatically, it's able to search it out like that. So this is a very dynamic table. So this is a table that is dynamic and is of course very useful. So as long as you continue to update this data set, it will automatically continue to update itself, and the formula will not break until you come to the end of these the rows, the columns in Excel. More than 1 million columns that we have in Excel. So a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this lesson, give me a thumbs up. So you can download this in the description. I'm going to leave it for you guys. Download, modify, and use it. Thank you. Have a